Hersam Acorn newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Friday, June 5th, and this is your coffee break on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network at HANradio.com/livestream. I'm Kate Czaplinski here with John Kovach and the rest of our HAN Network team hanging out. And if you're not watching us, you might want to, because we have some beautiful dishes here right now, because Chef Chris Molyneux of Parallel Post is back, and he's brought with him Leah Catherman of the Bridgeport Aquaculture School, and we're going to be talking with them in just a minute about this partnership they've formed and just some of the great food that we get to try, John.
It looks good. It's nice to wake up to lunch in front of me on my table here as I look at some very beautifully presented plates. And aquaculture school is something I really believe in that message, and I'm looking forward to learning more about what they do.
Right. So, and later in the show, we're going to get to some of the news and headlines, including a missing Milford woman returning home and Shelton police warning people about cats with rabies in the downtown area. So we're going to get to that and a lot more. Of course, Alex Hager is going to be bringing us sports later. He's our intern. And Don Eng with his history updates in traffic and weather. But first, Chef Chris and Leah, welcome to Coffee Break.
Thank you.
It's great to be here again.
Yeah, we're happy to have you guys. So tell us a little bit about this partnership between Parallel Post and the Aquaculture School and how that came about.
This is actually the third partnership that we've done with a local chef. The Bridgeport Regional Aquaculture School does a lot of really unique programs, including we have a seafood science class where students learn some food prep. They actually run a student-run seafood market a couple of days a week that's open to the public. And one of the things we like to do in the spring is provide them with an opportunity to work with a local celebrity chef and get a little glimpse behind the counter and see what it looks like to be in a real working kitchen. We also use it as an opportunity to invite members of our community in, including parents and some of our business and higher education partners, to showcase the school's products and the accomplishments of the students. So this year, we were very lucky to run into Chef Chris. My APTSSO, that's our parent organization, president, Michelle Medugno, actually is a huge fan of his, goes and eats at the restaurant all the time, has been raving about him for the last couple of years, and put us together, and it's been really exciting so far. Chef Chris has a great take on how to present our products, and the food is amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Michelle's been with us for a while. We love having her. She comes in the restaurant. We do a lot of farm events, at the restaurant or at the farm, and she's always a big part. And when she brought it up, I received a couple emails and phone calls, and once we got down there and actually saw what was going on, I didn't even know it was there. Mm-hmm. And I actually was kind of embarrassed to be in the area promoting local products and trying to be community oriented and helping local businesses and to have a school so close. And to be, actually growing all this stuff, and I was like, wow, I was on board. Once I came down to Melia and we started talking, and I walked through and I saw what all the students were doing, and what the product was, I was hooked. So I definitely wanted to get in to jump on this. So I saw it as an awesome opportunity, and it's also to teach younger generation about. They're already learning about sustainability, and they're only going to help promote restaurants like mine, mm-hmm. and other people that are opening are trying to promote farms in the area and fishermen and all of the community things that we're trying to push. They're only going to help that.
And we take another little take on this farm to table. We call it tank to table, because we actually raise the tilapia, we raise the barramundi in the hatchery at the school. Students take care of all of that, do all the water quality testing. And we like to be able to showcase not just sustainable foods, but also fresh, wonderful, and safe. There's always questions about what goes into the fish, and we know at our school, we know that we're using certified feed, we know that we're doing constant water quality testing, and we're harvesting the day of the market, so it's the freshest fish you can get.
What is being grown at the aquaculture school? You mentioned tilapia, barramundi. What else?
Tilapia and barramundi are the two primary finfish species that we culture in the lab. We do also raise lobsters as part of the lobster restoration project for Long Island Sound. We raise them and release a lot of them into the Sound to help restore the populations. We also save a few back to experiment on as far as finding more advantageous ways to culture them. They take a long time to get big. We also have a seaweed farm out in Long Island Sound where we grow sugar kelp, which is actually, we're the first certified seaweed manufacturer in Connecticut. We are certified for human consumption. We harvest, we blanch. We now have a kelp cutter that cuts it into these beautiful little noodles that you see in the salad there. That we actually had to bring over from Korea because it's just not something that's done in the United States very often. So now we've formed partnerships with a couple of other local seaweed farms. Bren Smith up in Branford has a sugar kelp farm, and he brings all of his seaweed to us for us to process. The students are involved in the HACCP planning for food safety, as well as the entire process of processing and packaging. And then Bren actually takes it down to New York City, where it gets used in some really fancy restaurants.
Ooh. And now you guys offer a market that people can go purchase items at. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in the seafood science classroom. We are actually open to the public. Students learn some basic skills like learning how to fillet fish. They learn how to set up the displays. They learn how to run the cash register and do a little customer service. We do showcase our locally grown products, as well as we purchase products from a local distributor who always ensures us that we're getting the most responsible fish that we can. And it's been a great opportunity for the students. We also hire student managers to help teach other students as they're coming in, and it's a nice opportunity because we actually get to pay them and thank them for all of their hard work.
What grades can attend the aquaculture school?
We're 9 to 12. We are a little specialized, though. We don't have a full-day program. We only do science and technology. Okay. So students coming from 7 local districts bus in just for a science or technology class, and then they go back and spend the rest of their day at their sending school doing their English, their math, their social studies.
And they can come from any school? It need not be, say, one of the state tech schools or anything like that?
It doesn't need to be one of the tech schools. We do have partnerships with Fairfield, Stratford, Milford, Monroe, Shelton, Trumbull, and Bridgeport. We have occasionally had students from other areas, but it has to be approved by their local school district before they can do that.
Wow, it's such a great opportunity to have in this area. And like you said, Chef Chris, I didn't even know much about it, so it's really neat.
To find out about it and go down there and see what it was, the fish market, and even for myself, like to find out where they're getting it from and what they're promoting. It's even good for me because I can get certain quality from my restaurant, but a lot of places when you try to go buy for yourself, if you really think like you're trying to buy your dinners or you're looking for it, where are you really going? And there's a lot of concerns with what a lot of the farm raised items that are out there right now that are being served in the main stores, and they're not using the same HACCP, or they're not growing things properly in other countries that we do here. Not to badmouth anybody or anything like that, but like people see the magazines, they see what's out there. You don't 100% know what's going on, so to have something where 100% what's happening, how it's being taken care of, and that's very important. It's very important for us, and it's very important for other people, and obviously for our young children. So you want to make sure you're giving quality food with the right stuff, basically.
And that's what Parallel Post is all about, right? I mean, tell us just a little bit about the restaurant.
So Parallel Post, we're going to be in our 3rd year. We're located inside the Trimble Marriott. We're a local fare, farm to fork. We use a lot of local farms in the area. You started off actually small. We only had a couple, and we keep on grabbing more. We're using Gilberti's in Easton. I'm using Roxbury, where I get my ground beef and my lamb. I'm getting herbs from another Stone Garden. I've got beans from in Stratford. There's some hydroponics that I got currently being grown right now. that are going to be coming into the restaurant. So, and there's always more. And then the nice thing about it is like, between cheeses and produce and tomatoes from Patty Pop's farm over in Easton as well, it goes with the seasons, and then we also partner up with fishermen through Seated Table or Foley's out of New Bedford to try to make sure that we're getting the best quality fish as well. So we're trying to cover all avenues.
And now seafood can be a little intimidating for people, at least if they want to cook with it. But can you tell us a little bit about what you did here with some of these products today?
Obviously, some seafood can be very difficult to cook with. There is some recipes that Leah was great to kind of put in a little binder and made it look really pretty and nice, which I definitely would not have done. Not gonna lie, I was on scratch paper pretty much. But there's some less is more. I'm really, if you're cooking with a great product and it's quality and it's fresh, you don't have to get too crazy with what you're putting into it. Basically, for this one over here, tuna, it's seared. It's obviously served rare. You can pick this up and do it at home. It's 30 seconds on each side. It's a togarashi spice, which is like it's a Japanese spice. You can pick it up in any Asian market store. I believe you actually can get it in the aisle and Stop and Shop. If not, you can Google it, and actually it's a bunch of different spices. You can make it home. It's seared real quickly on the outside, and then just gives it a little spice. And then I actually paired it up with the seaweed from the school. Enhanced it with a little bit of some shredded carrots and some fresh cucumbers and toasted sesame seeds, and it's got a ginger sesame vinaigrette. So that has a nice sweet with the vinaigrette and a little bit of spice going on with the togarashi spice. In the cups, not the best presentation, but I was
but it tastes good. I already tried.
I was expecting the other room. I think we were limited on
yes,
space.
We have a new big space.
I basically took the clams, cherry stone clams, which they're growing. We also use Norman Bloom and Sons, which is down in Norwalk. They're the clams that are coming out of Long Island Sound. And for people that don't know, people get nervous about that, there is a world of legality that goes into farming clams and oysters. They have to be moved. They have to deeper water at certain times. They can pull them at certain times of the year if there's a tide regulation or anything like that. So, I've actually, Norman Bloom's, I've been working with them for 2 years, and their lobsters and everything, they're 100% a great company to deal with. These clams are right on spot from what I use. Made a Manhattan clam chowder. Basically, just a rustic Manhattan clam chowder with San Marzano tomatoes to finish it off. The broth is from the shells, so everything that's in there's nothing that came from a can. The clams are chopped up, and I made the broth from the shells itself after and chopped up some fresh vegetables and San Marzano tomatoes, a little bit of butter. The one on the end over there is the barramundi. So it's a barramundi fillet. It's a white flaky fish. It's actually it's pan seared with a Japanese breadcrumb crust. It has a little bit of lemon juice, parsley, salt and pepper. You pan sear it on one side, flip it over, put it in the oven, cover it with a little bit of butter, not a lot, just a little bit, and finish it for about 6 or 7 minutes.
How do you avoid the mistake that I make when I prepare tuna and cook it for too long? How short is long enough? How long is too long?
Your first instinct is always right. So if you feel like you should be taking it off, take it off. Literally, when you're searing tuna, and it happens because it's a very it cooks very quickly. When you're searing it, the best way that I find is if you're gonna sear it, as soon as you can stop seeing any of the sides that are looking the pinkish, it's done.
Okay.
So really, on a 1 to 1.5 inch piece for a thickness, I would never go more than 1.5 minutes on each side, and then call it a day.
I go longer than 1.5 minutes, and now I know the problem.
The nice thing about sushi grade tuna is that it is 90% of it is flash froze before it gets shipped. So you're just searing the outside. That you don't have to worry about anything else.
Okay.
That's great. Well, should we maybe grab a plate between me and John, and you guys grab one as well, and we'll start taste testing?
Well, I've already been eating. So.
Yeah, I know. I have to admit, I
I
already tried the chowder, and it was delicious. Now, Leah, how a lot of the students that take the program, do they want to go into maybe working at a restaurant or something of that nature, or farming, or?
That could be one of a lot of outcomes. Most of the students who apply to our program are interested in either aquaculture or marine sciences, and so they go a lot of different directions. The seafood science class, they do the Serve Safe training, which is the National Restaurant Association's test for safe food handling, and they do get the certificate for that, which does make it easy to go into a restaurant industry. But we also have a lot of really high-level science classes, and we end up having a lot of kids that are really interested in marine biology or chemistry. We do have some really interesting experiences. We have a 56-foot research vessel that the kids in the ecology class will go out on Long Island Sound, and they'll do a trawl, and they'll check out all the different species they can find, which is surprisingly less and less, unfortunately. But they get to do some unique science experiences. We also have an analytical chemistry class where students are using instrumentation. They're using spectrophotometers and liquid chromatographers, and now we have a mass spectrometer, which is very exciting. But that's stuff that if you were a college major, in chemistry, they wouldn't even let you touch it. The TAs would run that for you.
Wow.
So they get a lot of hands-on practical experience, a lot of problem solving, and we have lots of opportunities for college credits with the UConn ECE classes as well. So there's a lot of different ways that they can go from there. And we do have a astoundingly high percentage of our kids go on to college. We're at 97%
Wow.
going to college.
That's impressive,
which,
yeah.
Considering half of our kids are Bridgeport Public Schools
Yeah.
kids, that's kind of setting us apart in Bridgeport right now, which is wonderful.
Wow, that's amazing. And I have to say, I just tasted this. It has a nice spice to it. Mm-hmm. Do you guys here? Let me move some over so you guys can try it. John, can you?
Yeah, let's send
With
that
some
down.
forks?
There you
As I'm talking with my mouth full. We learned last time Chef Chris was here that it's sort of embarrassing how I look when I'm eating food on camera, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
All right. Yeah, I always worry about this.
Oh, yeah, and I can't wait to try this.
Yeah, this I'm fascinated.
How neat. Yeah, I am fascinated that the school offers this, and it's so unusual in the area.
It's so easy to pick up with a plastic fork.
I do constantly have people come to me and say, I never even knew this school was here. And we've been there for 23 years now.
Wow.
I had not realized it was that
Such a long history, yeah.
Yeah, we've expanded. 5 years ago, we did an expansion on the building, which allowed us to add a lot of different science offerings, as well as this huge state-of-the-art hatchery, which is one of the nicest facilities you'll ever see. It was really impressive. But we've been there for a long time, and it's still getting the message out.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to help you guys get the message out because it just seems fantastic. And, I mean, Chef Chris, if people come to Parallel Post now, is there a lot of seafood on the menu this time of year?
Yep.
Yeah?
That's one of the reasons why we're doing this partnership as well, is because I would like to start bringing in some of their product
Yeah.
and using it,
This is delicious.
especially this time of year in the summertime. So
Yeah.
And this is all the locally grown seaweed?
this is all from
It's
them.
so
Yep.
delicious.
That's amazing. That is truly amazing stuff.
Everything you're tasting right here, except for the cucumbers, the carrots, and the vegetables and the chowder, is all from the Aqua School.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
We'll make sure our crew gets some of this in a minute, too, when we go to break. All right, so this is the...
Going to be a long stop set, guys.
a long break.
That's the barramundi, which is our newest product. We've been growing it for a couple of years, but we just got our HACCP plan approved and started harvesting and selling it through the seafood market. It's a little different for most people. It's really popular in Australia, but is kind of new for most of the people in Connecticut. But
That's
so
very
far,
good.
Oh, it's nice and light. It's very good flavor.
That's very good.
It's really nice. It's a really adaptable whitefish.
Yeah.
This is somebody who doesn't eat a lot of seafood that I would order that.
Which is amazing because he actually does a show called Yankee Fisherman.
Here's what it is.
Catch and release.
But that I
It's
would order.
nice and
That
light.
is
It's delicious.
tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the difference is when you go to eat something like this, which I went and picked up yesterday.
Yeah, we
And
harvested
then-
it
and
yesterday.
then you go and try to eat somewhere else, or go buy clams or fish or some tuna from somewhere else. It's not going to taste the same. Like, there is a difference from getting it fresh and not having it shipped for miles.
Right.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of benefits to that. It's helping the community. It's helping the local area, the local people that are doing all this, and you're not shipping things, hundreds of miles and wasting fuel.
Yeah. And Chef Chris, before we let you guys go, I mean, can you tell us a little bit about the farm to table events that are coming up?
Yeah, sure. We actually are going to start our farm series. We have one coming up in June. It's Thursday, I believe it's the 29th or 28th. I think it's the 29th. Excuse me. We're going to be having that one at the restaurant. We also do one out at the farm. And we haven't picked the farm yet. I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. I don't want to say yet. But that one is where we're partnering up with a couple different things that are going on. So there's the Vig Brewery, which is a new brewery. I don't know if you had their microbrews yet. And he's going to be helping us sponsor it. The Fisher's Island Lemonade. If you haven't had that yet, yeah, definitely go try that out.
Oh, wow.
It's a new lemonade. It's got alcohol in it, of course.
That's the best kind.
It's from Fisher's
If
Island.
you're of age.
familiar with the coffee break.
So it's from Fisher's Island, and we're partnering up with them. And we're really trying to take these three. We have one in October as well. So this way we're going to cover all three. We get an early summer, depending on what's growing and what's around, and then we get a late summer in August, which will go at the farm, which is a great experience. Like a lot of these local products that we have, or whatever we come up with the menu, those things will all be incorporated into it. It's a great event. It's a great way to go. There's multiple courses. Bootleg Gregor mixologists will be coming up with some great cocktails as well to go along with it, as well as having the brewery and the lemonade. So we always try to partner with other Connecticut businesses to push them along with ourselves. So it's going to be they're great experiences. You can look into them. They'll be on our Facebook, or call Parallel Post and ask. The first one we only take up to about 35 or 40. The second one we're going to definitely be a lot bigger at the farm because there's more space. So if anybody inquires, Michelle is usually at a lot of them, so she knows. So and it's a great time. And then our consultant Dean will also be being here for them as well. So he's got a recipe in one of these books from Connecticut that's through Parallel Post that we've been written up in. So it's just a lot of Connecticut businesses trying to get some people out there and taste some great food and have a great time.
Yeah, we love that. And Leah, if people want to find out more about the aquaculture school, any suggestions?
You can, if you Google Bridgeport Aquaculture School, it will take you to our website. I apologize for the website. We're
working on it.
Yeah, we're going to be transitioning to a new one in a couple of months. So hopefully that'll be a lot better. But there is a lot of information on the site. There's also applications. If there's interested students, we fill up so fast every year. We're already full for next year for incoming freshmen. But we're always looking for kids that are interested in learning and interested in having some unique experiences.
All right, great.
I do want to say before, there's a freshness to the chowder that you really
This is
experience.
My second.
There is, you can get a chowder, and a lot of times you don't get the freshness. There's really a fresh taste and feel around that chowder because of the ingredients that you use, I assume.
Correct. The actual broth is made with the clamshells.
Yeah, that's amazing.
By the way, they're out harvesting right now for your clams for Monday.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
There you go. They're hard at work.
No, I'm very excited. Like I said, this is a great partnership. Love coming here to meet with you guys again and be able to showcase what we do. It's our passion. It's what we want. I actually had one other thing I wanted to mention.
Sure.
We're currently a James Beard House in New York City. I'm an honorary James Beard member for this past year because I did an event down there. So we actually have a James Beard burger that's going on right now. It's a blended burger. It's 33% mushroom, 33% ground lamb, and ground beef with the Guinness cheddar on top. Wow. It's very, very good. There's a hashtag that goes along with it. James Beard is doing a count for there's a competition and it ends in July. We're currently running it. I definitely suggest people to come in and try it. It is a great burger, and again, all the products are local. Again, the beef and the ground lamb is actually coming from Roxbury. It's the Ox Hollow Farm. We've been partners with him for almost 4 years now.
And what are the hours for Parallel Post?
We start for breakfast at 6:30 in the morning, and we stop at 11 o'clock at night. Pretty much 7 days a week.
We might have to stop by today to try that burger.
Possibly.
Right? It'd be a good lunch.
All right. We'll do that. Well, Chef Chris of Parallel Post and Leah Catherman of the Aquaculture School in Bridgeport, thank you so much for coming on Coffee Break.
Thank you so much for having us.
It was a pleasure.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with some news, sports, weather, all that good stuff after this.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Breaks, sprains, injuries, and pain can now be quickly and expertly treated at Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Why wait hours in the ER? Save a trip and save money going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast!
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Your coffee break on HANradio.com. Kate Czaplinski back with John Kovach and Donald Eng. We might still be snacking on some of the chowder here because it's very delicious, John. That was a fun segment with the...
I wasn't paying attention, Kate. I was snacking on chowder.
But we should probably get to some news today, John. What's going on?
We've got quite a bit. The big news that GE is
yes,
looking to move. news out of Shelton about a rabid kitten. Real quick, let's get an update on the weather and traffic from Don, and then we'll get deeper into those stories.
Good call.
There I am. Right now all we have is just road work in a couple of places. I-84 westbound in Newtown at exit 14. That's going on today until 3:18. According to the DOT, the left lane closed. Also in Trumbull Parkway north at exit 47 until 3 o'clock today, the right lane closed. And in Waterbury, Route 8 south at exit 33 until 12:52. The right lane closed there. As far as the weather goes, cloudy, high near 68 today, dropping down into the mid-50s overnight. Gradually clearing tomorrow with temperatures climbing to about 75 before heading back into the 40s overnight, and a sunny and 70-degree Sunday to cap off the weekend. Right now, outside our Shelton studio, it is mostly cloudy. 65, 59 degrees in Fairfield, 64 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time, 11:30.
Thanks, Don. Well, getting back to some news today, Shelton police are warning residents about a cat found wandering in downtown Shelton that was found to have rabies. On May 12th, animal control officers there recovered a medium-haired black kitten in the area of Howe Avenue and Worcester Street. The kitten died on June 1st, and a test for rabies came back positive on June 4th. Upon learning that the kitten had rabies, animal control officers went door to door advising residents and businesses. It was reported to animal control that 2 other kittens were reported to be in the area of Howe Avenue and Maple Street. And if you handled or had any exposure to a stray cat or kitten in that area, you are encouraged to follow up with a healthcare provider. Residents are reminded to have all their pets vaccinated, to not handle any wild or stray domestic animals, and to teach their children to stay away from these animals. Complaints of stray domestic animals should be made to Shelton Animal Control at 203-925-2501. For more information on rabies, you can contact the Center for Disease Control, the Connecticut Department of Health, or the Naugatuck Valley Health District. Kind of a scary story. I mean,
very,
just
because
worry.
you see
Little
a
kid
kitten,
sees a kitten and you want to pet it.
That's my instinct would be to go over, pick it up.
Right.
And that's always scary. Scary on another note, the CEO of Fairfield-based General Electric informed employees yesterday that his company is looking for a new home outside of Connecticut, citing the budget passed by the state legislature. In a message sent to workers and sent out to the media by some of those workers, CEO Jeff Immelt wrote that the state budget contains significant and retroactive tax increases for businesses in the state, which he said would have serious implications for GE and other businesses. Immelt wrote that he has assembled an exploratory team to look into the company's options to relocate its corporate headquarters to another state with a more pro-business environment. He also said taxes on GE have been raised 5 times since 2011 amid uneven state support for business strategies.
Thanks, John. Well, 2 days after a court ruling, the Stratford Clerk's Office has begun verifying the signatures presented to the town last month by petitioners hoping to force a town-wide vote on the sale of the Water Pollution Control Authority plant. The verification process began late Wednesday, according to Rick Marcone, the town's Democratic Registrar of Voters. Superior Court Judge Barbara Bellis ruled Tuesday that Town Clerk Susan Powlick must certify the more than 6,000 signatures presented by the 5 petitioners with WPCA Stratford Get Answers. The petitioners are hoping to force a referendum to decide if Stratford should sell its sewer plant and assets to the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Control Authority. Bellis also issued a temporary injunction preventing Mayor John Harkins from signing any paperwork to finalize the transfer of the plant and Powlick from accepting any paperwork regarding the sale. While the signature verification process is assigned to Powlick's office, Marcone said he and Republican Registrar Louis DeCillo were asked to assist in the process. The clerk's office expects to be busy. Signs posted at town hall entrances Thursday indicated that the clerk's office would be open from 8 a.m. to noon through June 12th, the deadline for the signatures to be verified. And there's a lot more on that story at StratfordStar.com.
Cape Bridgeport Mayor Bill Finch has recognized city resident Ronnie Reed for coming to the aid of a neighbor and friend who had suffered a heart attack. Reed, an East End resident, made his usual morning visit to Deli News at 1159 Stratford Avenue and discovered the store clerk on the floor. Reed called 911 and attempted to help the proprietor. He stayed with the man until medics arrived. Finch said Reed saw a neighbor in need of assistance, stayed, and tried to help the man, giving him a fighting chance. Finch said that he was saddened that the situation did not have a better outcome. Finch presented Reed with a mayoral proclamation at the Margaret E. Morton Government Center.
Thanks, John. Well, Ridgefield schools were put into a soft lockdown yesterday after a suspicious person was reported possibly carrying a gun. Ridgefield Police Captain Jeff Kreitz wrote in a statement that at about 9:20 in the morning yesterday, the Ridgefield Police Department received a call regarding a suspicious male in the vicinity of West Mountain Road and Ramapo Road. It was reported that the male was walking toward the center of town and could possibly be holding a firearm. Officers were immediately dispatched to the area and the superintendent's office was notified. As a cautionary measure, Veterans Park Elementary School as well as Ridgefield Academy and St. Mary's School were immediately placed in a soft lockdown stay put while the investigation was ongoing. According to Ridgefield Police, they did a thorough check of the area but were unable to locate the reported individual. They also spoke with numerous people in the area, none of who reported seeing the individual who matched the description given by the caller. Coffee break time is 11:36.
A Milford woman who was reported missing yesterday has been found safe in another town. Milford police say Paula Lynn D'Onofrio, 46 years old, went to another police department in Fairfield County after learning that she had been reported missing. Milford police Thursday told the press that the 46-year-old D'Onofrio had last been seen leaving her Beaverbrook residence on May 29th. She was unharmed and had left her residence by her own preference, Milford police said earlier today.
Thanks, John. Well, we're coming up on 11:38, and I think we're going to take a break and come back with Don's Look at History and then bring on Alex to give us a sports update. How's that sound, guys?
I'll take it. No, not bad. That sounds like a winner.
All right, well, that's coming up after this.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us. We won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
The biggest day in Connecticut lacrosse is around the corner, and you won't want to miss it. HAN Network's production team will be bringing you all 3 Connecticut Lacrosse Championship games in live streaming video through the CIAC and NFHS network on Saturday, June 13th. this is Rob Adams. I'll have the play-by-play live from Brian McMahon High School, the 2015 Connecticut Lacrosse Championships through the CIAC and NFHS Network, and produced by the HAN Network. Don't miss it.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
John?
Well, yes?
I'm sorry, but there was this big conversation that John was going to bring it in, and then he just didn't. It happens. It happens.
Time for Don Eng in history.
Well, thank you, John. We start off in 1851 with Harriet Beecher Stowe's anti-slavery novel Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Life Among the Lowly, beginning a 10-month run in the National Era, an abolitionist newspaper. Stowe was a Connecticut-born teacher at the Hartford Female Seminary and an active abolitionist. She featured the character Uncle Tom, a long-suffering slave around whom the stories of other characters revolve. The novel depicts the reality of slavery while also asserting that love can overcome something as destructive as the enslavement of the fellow human beings. It went on to become the second best-selling book of the 19th century, trailing only the Bible. 1883, the first regularly scheduled Orient Express departs Paris. Although the original train was simply an international railway service, the name has become synonymous with intrigue and opulent luxury travel. The two names most prominently associated with the Orient Express are Paris and Istanbul, the original endpoints along the 2,000-mile route. 1968, Robert Kennedy, a U.S. presidential candidate, shot at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles by Sirhan Sirhan, a Palestinian national. Kennedy died the following day. Sirhan believed that Kennedy had personally betrayed him by supporting Israel in the June Six-Day War, which had begun exactly 1 year to the day before the assassination. And 1989, the unknown protester known as Tank Man halts the progress of a column of advancing tanks for over half an hour after the Tiananmen Square protest of 1989. This was the morning after the Chinese military had suppressed the Tiananmen Square protest by force, killing as many as 1,000 pro-democracy student protesters. As the lead tank maneuvered to pass the man, he repeatedly shifted his position to obstruct the tank's attempted path. The incident was filmed and seen worldwide. Now, we've all seen the tight shot of Tank Man. Take a look at the wide shot. There are hundreds of tanks staged there. And the remarkable thing is that considering the tanks had fired their machine guns into crowds of students the day before, they refused to drive over them even when ordered. There is no reliable information about the identity or fate of Tank Man. He was rumored to have been arrested and executed, though Chinese officials have repeatedly said they don't know who or where he is. Considering the Chinese government's propensity to brag about their human rights atrocities, I'm inclined to believe them. And finally, in 1956, there was this.
Stand in line, and I went, hey, what are the Rich Brothers doing here? What are they doing? I was, hey, young man, if you want an autograph, would you stand in the back there? I don't care who you are. Everybody wants... I'm Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley! Give me the good old Rudy Valley days. Elvis, sing your hit song. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
That was Elvis Presley introducing his new single, Hound Dog, on the Milton Berle Show, scandalizing the audience with his suggestive hip movements. It wasn't Presley's first appearance on TV, or even for that matter, his first appearance on Berle's show, but on previous appearances, he was either tightly cropped to his head and shoulders, or had his movement restricted by his acoustic guitar. Elvis and his soon-to-be-famous pelvis made their debut today, 1956. That's your look back in history, and I'm Donald Eng.
Thanks, Don. Always fascinating. Always good stuff. Well, the state playoffs are in full swing right now, catching up after rain delays earlier in the week. We're going to have baseball action for you today, audio only. Rob Adams and I will be live at Staples High School, where the Greenwich Cardinals will take on their FCIAC foe, the Staples Wreckers. First time we're going to see the Blue Monster live. 3:30 first pitch will be on a little before that with pregame. Now with a rundown of what happened yesterday, here's Alex Hager.
I think we're all looking forward to that Greenwich Staples game, and it's one of many exciting games on the slate today, as rain earlier in the week pushed a lot of the games back to the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday slate. So the playoffs kept moving on, and then there were 8. We're going to get things started off in Class L, as there are 8 teams left. Norwalk beat Wilton 6-5 in a close matchup yesterday, and the Bears are going to go on to face the top seed NFA at Dodd Stadium in Norwich. Down in Darien, the 5-seed Blue Wave were shocked by Greenwich 4-1, who pulled off their second upset win in just as many games after beating Ward in the first round. The Cardinals look to continue their streak up in Westport today, taking on a Staples team who beat South Windsor yesterday afternoon, and of course we'll have that game later today up at the new Blue Monster. There was another upset yesterday as the Stamford Black Knights knocked off the 2-seed Fairfield Prep, and the Knights are going to go on to take Southington tonight. The Knights, both in baseball and softball, keep rolling in surprising fashion. In the last quarterfinal game today, Amity will be squaring off against Shelton at 4 p.m. That game will be played up in Shelton as the Gales beat Newtown by a score of 1-0 yesterday. Over in the Class L bracket, New Canaan bowed out to Windsor by a score of 2-1. In Class S, Trinity Catholic faced Portland on home turf. The Crusaders won that one 2-1, and they'll square off against the 15-seed Career Magnet in today's quarterfinal. The only other FCAC team in action yesterday was the St. Joseph's Cadets. In the Class M bracket, they beat Waterford 3-2, and they'll take on Plainfield in the quarterfinal tonight. There's a few local teams hanging on in the SEAC softball tournament as well, and Stamford just keeps on rolling. They beat Amity by only 1 run yesterday. They'll face South Windsor in the quarters. The winner of that matchup will have the winner of the top-seeded Southington and the 9-seed Trumbull. One of 2 games today is Darien versus Newtown, as the Blue Wave looks to move on to face the winner of Cheshire and NFA in the semis. The top-seeded St. Joe's Cadets are also in contention. They're playing today against Morgan in the Class M bracket. And moving on to boys lacrosse, tomorrow we've got a slate full of FCAC teams, as 5 of the 8 teams left in the Class L bracket are from Fairfield County. Ridgefield will play Simsbury, Staples has Glastonbury, and Darien is matched up against New Milford. All of those quarterfinal games will be played tomorrow. The final matches from that bracket are on June 13th, and Hersam Acorn Network will have coverage of those games live from Brian McMahon High School. Their Class M bracket games this afternoon as well, as New Canaan will be taking on Guilford, Wilton will be playing New Fairfield, and Barlow has Daniel Hand in the 4-5 seed matchup, and top-seeded North Haven has Notre Dame of West Haven. The lone FCAC team in the Class S bracket is still alive as well, as the St. Joseph's Cadets are squaring off against Summers tomorrow. The winner of that game is the winner of Old Lyme versus East Catholic in the semis. And there's a potential for an all-FCAC finals matchup for Class L girls lacrosse as well, as Darien punched their ticket to a semifinal game against Conard by beating Staples 17-5. Wilton knocked off the top-seeded Glastonbury yesterday, and they've got Simsbury in the other final. Girls tennis state finals are today as well, as the Class L final will see Staples play Darien. The Wreckers beat Glastonbury 5-2 yesterday, and the Blue Wave topped Ludlow 4-3 to win the semifinal. Last but not least, there was one boys volleyball game yesterday. That was a Class L matchup between Darien and Southington. The Blue Wave won 3-2, and they'll play the winner of Shelton and Glastonbury, which will be decided tonight.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
It's a very exciting time as we get down to the elite teams in the state in spring sports.
Very interesting to see who can pull it out. Quite a few surprises there as well, and traditional powerhouses moving on.
Alex, before we let you go, we have to mention that you got trapped in what is today, National Donut Day?
I know, I did get trapped.
Tell us
I was
what
surprised. I was not prepared.
It's
On
big
my way up
news.
to work today, I stopped at the Fairfield rest stop to get a coffee so I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. And I was like, well, I don't think I need a donut. That would be too much. And I went to purchase a coffee. And then they go, did you know it's National Donut Day? You're getting a free donut. And I couldn't say no to a free donut.
You can't. It's illegal.
It's a catch-22. It was impossible. So now I have a free donut.
Still, you have it? You haven't eaten it yet?
No, I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Oh, nice.
No, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Get a plaque made with it.
I could get
You're
it
saving
bronze.
it for Kate.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, Alex.
share
Well,
it
I just
among
wanted to make
everyone.
sure we mentioned everyone. It is National Donut
It is
Day.
Free
National
Food
Donut Day.
Friday
So happy
continues.
National Donut Day.
Yes, happy National Donut Day to you as well, Alex. Thank you. Getting back to some news this morning. Two Connecticut doctors with a practice in New York were each sentenced on Tuesday, June 2nd, to 20 months in prison for accepting bribes in exchange for test referrals as part of a long-running and elaborate scheme operated by Biodiagnostic Laboratory Services of Parsippany, New Jersey, its president and numerous associates, according to U.S. Attorney Paul Fishman. In his release, Fishman said that 65-year-old Richard Goldberg of Weston and 61-year-old Gary Leeds of Greenwich previously pleaded guilty before U.S. District Judge Stanley Chesler to one count of accepting bribes. Judge Chesler imposed both sentences Tuesday in Newark Federal Court, including Goldberg and Leeds. 38 people, 26 of them doctors, have pleaded guilty in connection with the bribery scheme, which its organizers have admitted involved millions of dollars in bribes and resulted in more than $100 million in payments to BLS from Medicare and various private insurance companies. The investigation has so far recovered more than $11 million to date through forfeiture, and there's a lot more on that story at thewestonforum.com.
Two pedestrians were seriously injured last night after their disabled vehicle was struck by another car, pinning them against a Jersey barrier on the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge in New Haven. State police said the accident happened in the right northbound lane of I-95 shortly after 10 o'clock. The northbound lanes were shut down last night for a few hours. 26-year-old Emma Carmichael of Brattleboro, Vermont, and 27-year-old Molly Johnson of Kingston, Rhode Island, got out of their vehicle after it caught fire and became disabled on the bridge. They were standing outside the 1997 Subaru waiting for help. Another driver stopped his 1995 Ford pickup truck to help the two stranded people. Then the unidentified driver of the pickup had his flashers on while he was attempting to extinguish the fire. A third vehicle, a 2013 Subaru driven by 19-year-old Jack Tiernan of Branford, struck the truck, pushed that vehicle into the two pedestrians, pinning them between it and the Jersey barrier. They were conscious and alert when taken to Yale New Haven Hospital, according to the New Haven Fire Department. 11:51 on your coffee break. Don, what's going on the roads today?
Well, just in the last few minutes, the state has reported, according to the Greenwich Police, Taconic Road is closed between Crown and Howard Streets due to a motor vehicle accident. There is a pole down there. No word yet on if the utility company is on the scene. They're presumably on their way. Other than that, Newtown, 84 eastbound at exit 14 until 3:18 today. The left lane closed. Trumbull Parkway North at exit 48 till 3 o'clock. The right lane closed there. And Waterbury Route 8 South at exit 33 until 12:52. According to the DOT, the right lane closed there. Cloudy day today, high near 70, dropping into the mid-50s overnight. Gradually clearing up tomorrow with temperatures climbing through the 70s and then heading back down into the 40s after the sun goes down, and a sunny 70-degree Sunday to cap off the weekend. Right now, outside our Shelton studio, it is mostly cloudy and 65 degrees, 58 degrees on the water in Fairfield, 65 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time, 11:52.
Thanks, Don. Kate, what else is happening around southwestern Connecticut?
Well, John, a large maple tree fell across the back driveway at Riverside School onto the playground in Greenwich Thursday afternoon. Fortunately, there were no students or staff on the playground at the time. Riverside School Principal Christopher Weiss acted swiftly to account for all students and staff in the building, according to a release from the school. Greenwich Public Schools facilities and safety staff, the Greenwich Police Department, and Emergency Medical Services arrived immediately. An assessment at the site was conducted. Dr. McCursey was also at the school through dismissal, and all classes were dismissed from the front of the school. So glad nobody was hurt there, John.
A man with a knife invaded a Milford home early Wednesday morning, prompting police to remind residents to keep windows and doors locked for safety. The home invasion happened at Calf Penn Lane residence around 3:30 Wednesday morning. Noises woke the resident, who found a man going through his personal belongings, police said. When the resident tried to restrain the intruder pulled a knife, then fled. Police described the intruder as a thin man, 5 feet 6 inches tall, 20 to 30 years old. Police in Milford reminded residents to keep doors and windows locked, use home security features, and report suspicious activity to police, who they said will be notifying residents through Milford Alerts, a mass notification system.
Thanks, John. Well, Bridgeport Rescue Mission's food pantry historically runs low in the summer months, and they're asking the community to stuff a truck with food to feed the hungry and families throughout coastal Fairfield County. On June 5th and 6th, mission staff and volunteers will be on hand, that's today and tomorrow, at area Stop and Shop supermarkets from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. to collect items. Groceries donated during the Stuff a Truck food drive will be used to prepare the meals the mission provides each day in its dining room and mobile kitchen, as well as for the pantry bags distributed daily to people in need. Those who want to help are asked to bring bags of the items listed below to their favorite Stop and Shop stores or buy them when shopping for their own groceries. Mission staff said volunteers will be on site to receive the donations. Some of the food items that are most needed include canned soup and vegetables, tuna, beans, macaroni and cheese, ramen noodles, cold cereal, powder drink mix, and coffee. To find out where your nearest Stuff a Truck is, you can go to bridgeportrescuemission.org.
We just refer to that as dorm cuisine.
Oh, right, it does. It's true.
Yeah, well.
But after the way we just ate,
I know, it would be a bit of a come down, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So a story that continues to develop in New Canaan, the question over whether New Canaan Police Sergeant John Milligan intentionally kept his ex-wife on the town's health insurance, whether it was an oversight or an intentional attempt to mislead. There was a questioning about that is in detail broken down at ncadvertiser.com with some audio from the questioning. Michael Katarivas on that story as it develops. And I'm sure, Kate, it's something that we'll be discussing a little more on Behind the News coming right up at noon.
Yeah, right up at noon is Behind the News. We will be doing that on the Hersam Acorn Network and audio as well. And then at 1 o'clock, Radio Arts and Leisure, audio only. That's going to come at you from the Ridgefield studio, John. But I think we're going to wrap things up a couple minutes early here. Get ready for Behind the News.
Get some barramundi.
Get some more barramundi.
Little chowder,
All right.
donut.
We'll be back Monday, guys, with more coffee break, but stay tuned.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersam Radio, on Facebook at Hersam Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersamacorn.com.